Termination notice is not applicable if they're a casual generally, unless they've been with you for a certain period of time. So let's put the casuals aside and let's look at the part-time and full-time employees. The termination notice is designed to help the poor, defenceless employee get back on their feet. So let's say you've given a termination notice of, say, 28 days. Now, during that time, the employee is aware they're going to leave your practice, leave your business in 28 days. So they can start stealing up to save money and deal with having to find new employment. During that time, you can actually, as an employer, pay them out. So let's say they're being aggressive. They've been a bit naughty, they've been sexual innuendo to one of the other employees or whatever. They're just not the type of person you want to have in your practice or your business anymore. Then you can actually pay them out in lieu of notice. So you can pay and give them a cheque and get rid of them. On a mining site, what would happen at 6 o'clock in the morning, you would go to the employee, you'd drag them out of the bed, you would give them the cheque in lieu of notice, you'd get the shares and they'd hop on a little Cessna or a little private aeroplane and you'd fly them back to their capital city and get rid of them. Because that's the power you have. If you have an employment contract, you can pay them in lieu of notice. If you don't have that power, then quite often they have to stay around like a bad smell. During the time that they're away, or that you've paid them to be away from your practice or your business, that's called gardening leave if you've got an employment contract that requires that. And obviously if you've got a legal consolidated, you are protected. So you can pay them in lieu of notice and you have a proper termination agreement. Now, let's have a look. Should we make it a 2-month, a 60-day termination agreement? Because quite often it works the other way, that the employee has a great deal and they're going to leave and they're going to leave you with half the computer program built or half the project done. And that's not much fun. And I sympathise with you as an employer. However, make the employment contract termination notice over 30 days because while you as the employer, the moral person, has to give them and pay them out for that period of time, the employee, they just leave and go on 1 day's notice, on 1 minute's notice. They just walk out. The industrial relations, no one in the government's there to protect you. There's no point in having a long termination notice in my view. You might as well just make it 30 days. Because when the employee leaves, they just leave. And often they don't even give you 30 days notice. If you make it 60 days, you've got to write them a cheque for 60 days and their superannuation or whatever the award that you've got, that you're suffering. It's your call as the termination notice, often 30 days, sometimes 60. If you need legal advice, we are here. We are your protectors. Ring, telephone us. We can provide you with legal advice for free on how to complete this employment contract. We are there for you. So enjoy the benefits of dealing directly with a law firm.